This song's the northeast of England. In Bedford, about a man. It could be slightly autobiographical. It's called E.I. Arkard Hugh. I always thought, when I heard it at first, I thought it was E.I. Arkard Hugh, you know, but it's E.I. Arkard Hugh. It means that I was a great lad with a pick in my day. I used to fairly tunnel into that coal and get on with it. So it has a refrain, but it's when I was young and in my prime, I could hew, well, I was hewing all the time, but now me hewing days are through. Now me hewing days are through at the face, the dust it bleeds. I could hew, knew that dust it's killing me, for now me hewing days are through. Now me hewing days are through. And I walked with matters and they were men. I could hew, they were men and sons of men. But now me hewing days are through. Now me hewing days are through. And I know that work was made by men. I could hew, but we made the dust I'll never can. For now me hewing days are through. Now me hewing days are through. And soon that pitney mare I'll see. I could hew, but I'll carry it run inside of me. For now me hewing days are through. Now me hewing days are through. Now me hewing days are through. Oh, I messed that up. I'll try this one. This is a true story about around about the 1745 rebellion. The Duke of Argyll was the sort of sheriff and his posse all together, rolled up into one, and he used to go around you picked a fine time to go to the loo. Anyway, the Ogilvy Earl of Airlie went off, hello, and joined Bonnie Prince Charlie and his gang, and the Duke of Argyll came down in his absence and burnt his house. It's a very sad song if you happen to live in a castle, but I don't really mind that. I think it's quite a happy song, really. It fell upon a day, a bonny summer's day, when green grew the oats and the barley. There fell out a great dispute between Argyll and Airlie, and Argyll had called 100 of his men to rise in the morning early, and they came down by the Black o' Dunkeld to plunder the bonny house so airly. Lady Ogledy sat in her windy say hi, and oh, but she grat sairly. They see Argyle, and all his men come to plunder the bonny who's so early. Come down, Lady Ogledy, he cried, come down and kiss me fairly. For if the morning's clear daylight, I'll no leave a standing stated early. No, I'll no come down, the lady replied, nor will I kiss thee fairly. I wadna kiss thee, but Argyle, though ye shouldna leave a standing stated early. But where my ain good love at him, as he's best next way cheerly, then the beat Argyle and all his men darna enter the bonny house so early. Do I have 7 bonny sons, she said, the youngest has ne'er seen his daddy. And had I ever as many again, and they'd all be followers so cheerly. And then Argyle attacked the bonny haw, and oh, but he plundered it fairly. In spite of the tears the ladies let down for, he burnt down the bonny house so early. I'm on the last one, I think, Andy. You hear me, old boy? I'm on the last one, right? This one has been a great favourite for many years, written by a Dundee lady who I think fairly recently snuffed it, although I didn't see the death notice, but I know she was pretty ill. Great socialist. Bit of character anyway. You all know it, so some of you have even recorded it. Oh dear me, the milk in bed and the poor wee shifters can't get the rest. Shifting bobbins, coarse and fine, they fairly make you work for your 10 and 9, and it's oh dear me, I wish the day was done, for running up and down the path isn't any fun. Shifting feet and spinning, what weft and twine, they feed and bleed your fairness, half and 10 and 9, and it's oh dear me, this world's ill divided, and them that work the hardest are idly provided. But I'm and by content as dark days are fine, there's nae much pleasure trying to live up 10 and 9, and it's oh dear me, the milk in bed and the poor wee shifters can't get the rest. Shifting bobbins, coarse and fine, they fairly make you work for your 10 and 9. Thanks very much.
Right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you put your hands together and do a big St Andrews welcome to our friends from America, the Red Clay Ramblers.
That was a fiddle tune from here and there in the United States called Hell Amongst the Wee Yearlings.
Mostly there.
This is a group of tunes that come from Ireland, from a fiddler named Dennis Murphy, makes this version of them. And they're Irish polkas, of which there are only a small number.
For good reason.
They're called the Valley Desert
For all their
polka.
skill, the Irish can't dance the polka very well. That's what I'm trying to Whoops, watch your strap there. You guys can start without him.
One of the things that struck us most when we got to Scotland, having just come from Romania, was Scotland's very similar to the U.S. in at least one respect, and that is people here are just as concerned as they are in the States about women in politics and chicken-stealing preachers. And so we decided to do Our song, which deals with both of those issues, you probably know many songs yourselves that deal with both of those issues, but we only know one. And naturally, it's called the Hen House Blues. 1, 2, 3. Back in about 1935, a man named Johnny Black wrote a song called Paper Doll. And it became very popular. Jazz bands played it, pop singers sang it. You probably heard it here in Scotland back in 35.
A few of us are still
the song
36.
The song remained popular for about 20 years and finally began to die out. And about a year ago, I was listening to it, and I realized why it had died out. You see, Johnny Black had only written the second verse. And without the first verse, the song just didn't have any staying power. So I sat down and wrote the first verse to it. So Johnny Black and I collaborated on this over a span of 45 years. And if he had known what I was going to write, he would have called it Corrugated Lady, which is what I call it.
Into this land, through the young like an apple, let it go. I was on playing tennis with the kind that says the band is Martin Princess and he's swimming pool. Back and forth across the ocean, nothing playing notes, coast to chasing every time the face is turning blue. Now the Christmas time of day, I'm gonna play up this damn biz, the shoes and the paper and the glue. Oh, cardboard girl Christmas, the favorite bird that never likes. I'll take my exercise and follow with a bird. Oh, nothing sweeter than a sweeter than a critter like a dartboard on the wall. That's a great big corrugated chipboard paper and all.
play another tune for you now. This is one that's very popular all over the United States. And it's one of those tunes that every fiddler has his own version, which I think in a way means that it's one of the best tunes around. This is one I guess we've sort of just put together from a lot of different places. The name of the tune is the Forked Deer, which means a deer with big antlers.
Go ahead with it. We're going to switch things around a little bit. Attack you with 2 fewer men and 3 fewer weapons, and sing a Carter family song. This is probably, some of you folkies know which Carter family I'm talking about. This is not the one presently in office. In fact, this Carter family was never in office. The Carter family was a group from Western Virginia, sang and played during the 20s and 30s and 40s. They played at schoolhouses and they didn't have folk clubs there then. In 1927, they saw a poster said, "Come down to Bristol Virginia there and audition and become famous recording artists." And so they went to Bristol, Virginia, and they auditioned for RCA. And as a matter of fact, 1 out of a million, they did become famous recording artists. They were the first group to use the guitar as a lead instrument in American music, American country music, and the first country group to use tight vocal harmony. And they influenced the sound of American music vastly, far beyond anything they'd ever imagined would happen. In fact, they never did realize how important they was. We usually change these old songs around a little bit to suit our own tastes or our own limitations, or for the huge profits. And But we don't change the Carter family songs too much. We try to do them the way they did them. And this is one of their gospel songs. It's called 50 Miles of Elbow Room.
Well, 100 miles it came, friends of horse, recipes, man. It seems that walls of dance were shines not made by human hands. 100 miles it gates were wide of undone windows there, with 50 miles of elbow room on either side to spare. When the gates swing wide on the other side, just beyond the sunset sea, there'll be room to spare as we enter there. Room for you and room for me, for the gates are wide on the other side, where the flowers ever bloom. On the right hand, on the left hand, 50 miles of elbow room. Sometimes I'm cramped and crowded here and long for elbow room. I want to reach for altitude where the fairest flowers bloom. It won't be long before I pass into that city fair, with 50 miles of elbow room on either side to spare. When the gates swing wide on the other side, just beyond the sunset sea, there'll be room to spare as we enter there. Room for you and room for me, for the gates are wide on the other side, where the flowers ever bloom. On the right hand, on the left hand, 50 miles of elbow room. We'd like to do a song for you now that comes from a black blues player named Bo Carter. He lived down in Jackson, Mississippi for much of his life and recorded with a band called the Mississippi Sheiks part of the time by himself. This was all going on during the 30s. And he liked to do kind of slightly risque songs at the time. This is one of his. He called it "Let's Get Drunk Again." And we tried to tone it down a little. We call it "I Got the Whiskey."
We know when we're with refined people.
Craver still hunting for the cat. Oh, boy, you cat.
Again, let's get once again. Let's go, baby,
drunk he may be, thinking of the old black man, honey loving me. That old baby making you drunk again. Think about that, man. I got the one for you got the girl. Let's go down together, baby, rubber dub. They walk more once enough. They walk more once enough. Let's go down together, baby, rubber dub. It don't make me no difference how kind you may be. That you don't hold like me, honey, rubbing with me. I got the one for you, got the love. I got the one for you, got the love. Let's put them together, baby, rubbing up.
This next song is one that was recorded about the same time as the last one by a guy named Uncle Dave Macon. He was the first banjo player on the Grand Ole Opry, joined the Grand Ole Opry at its inception around 1925, and played with it until his death. He was kind of a middle-aged man when he started playing on the radio, and he'd already been playing around the South for about 30 years. And one of the things he liked to do was to make up words to fiddle tunes, including this next one. This is kind of a gardening song, summer, spring song, and it's called Rabbit in the Pea Patch. Songwriter from right now from Roanoke, North Carolina, which is kind of near where we live. He lives up in the mountains a lot, here and there. And it's a song kind of about various sorts of drinking. Many of our songs are about various sorts of drinking. This one is called Champagne Velvet for the Folks on the Hill, Blue Ribbon for the Boys at the Bar.
Well, it's champagne belt for the folks on the hill, blue ribbon for the boys at the bar.
Every Friday evening around 5 o'clock, you can see him coming through the door. They're old to drink at the Texas seats, but his feet on the hardwood floor. Pour a coffee mug in the thermos jug, did a sipping from an old fruit jar. It's champagne velvet for the folks on the hill, blue ribbon for the boys at the bar. I meet my buddies at the old beer hall after the working day. Hey, Jim, we're gonna let our things our wash our grease away. With a rebel yell, we'll give them hell, let them know just who we are. It's champagne velvet for the folks on the hill, blue ribbon for the boys at the bar. From the 40 hours plus my overtime leaves 127 for me. It's 50 bucks for my 69 for 20 more warmer color TV. The rent's coming due and the doctor too. Rubber tricks for the friends at the bar. It's champagne velvet for the folks on the hill, blue ribbon for the boys at the bar. Now if I die up rocking my lay my hard hat by the side. Dig my grave with a dozer blade, line my coffin with a dog I hide. Turn my face to the human race and my horn to the morning star. Champagne velvet for the folks on the hill, blue ribbon for the boys at the bar. Champagne velvet for the folks on the hill, blue ribbon for the boys at the bar.
your driver's license when you become 16 in the state. And the first thing you do is take the family car and
That's so cool.
and you go find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you go driving out, and it gets dark, and you go find some lonely spot, and you hope something exciting will happen. This is a song about a guy who does that, and just before anything fun happens, the police come and send him away. And so they go to another place, and before anything happens there, her real boyfriend shows up. He's a great big guy. And that was just the beginning of his evening. Even worse things happen by the end. It's called The Ace.
Very good. Oh, wait, before. This is the last song on the set, and we'll be taking a short break, and then we'll be back. And while we're taking a break, we have a few of these left, which we don't want to carry home with us because they're heavy. And they're real nice records, and if you want to have a look at one and possibly even buy it, come up and catch one of us during the break, and we'll show it to you. They're $250.
$100.
$250 of each. We'll take 5,000 legs. Right, yeah, we will take a leg.
Date with a high-tone girl, the one that wears that bouffant curl. She means business when she's worked, so I finally stuffed the Chevy with the fender skirts. Hopped in the car and stepped on the gas. I'm a laying down rubber on the old bypass. Out her window she did creep, headed on out for the lovers' leap. Made a detour by the barbecue shack, put 12 cold beers on ice in the back. Found us a spot in the twilight glow when the light of the police showed.
And he said,
Oh, you got me, you got the goods on you. And you're sweet in too. I caught you in your car with the stars in your eyes and your brains in the bottom of your shoe. You're the hot dog, ain't you now? You're the bulldog, big bow wow. Got the blood on your face, you're the eighth with steady ground. Headed on out for another spot, just down the road from the dash-in dock. Saxophone crooning on the radio, and the moonlight hanging low. Fingernails tapping on the window pane, was a great big boyfriend waiting.
and he said,
Oh, you ice cream, you got the goods on you. And my sweetie too, I caught you in your car with stars in your eyes and your brains in the bottom of your shoe. You're a hot dog, ain't you now? You're the bulldog, big bow wow. Got the foot on your face, you're the eighth with the steady brown. Oh. Sitting in a parlor, drinking Coca-Cola, we was standing for life. She put her hair up in low. She was filing her nails on the dining board. When I thought she was ready for a little sport, tripped on the rug, spilled my Coke in her hair, slipped the seat up, and went to put my foot through a chair. Oh, you little dud, you had enough of you. And you Chevy too, go home in your car with stars in your eyes and your brains in the bottom of your shoe. You're a hot dog, ain't you now? You're the bulldog, big bow wow. Got the foot on your face, you're the ace with the steady brown.
That's what I like about Andy, is it's just about the right height for me. This is a song with a chorus. If you join it in, we may be very pleased. It's called The Oakley Strike Evictions, and it's about, it's a Newcastle song, Tyneside area, written by Tony Armstrong. And it concerns the time the miners went to strike, and the houses were tied to the mines. The chorus is, what would you do if you had the power yourself? I'd hang the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. Well, it was in November, and I never will forget when the police and the candy men they Hockley hoopies met. Johnny the bellman, he was there a squinting round a bit, and they put 2 men on every door to turn the miners out. Oh, what would you do if you had the power yourself? I would hang the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. Oh, they went frae a stay aside, putting things out on the road. But mind they didn't hurt themselves with carrying heavy loads. One would carry the poker root, the fender or the rake, but if they carried 2 at once, it was a great mistake. Oh, what would you do if you had the power yourself? I would hang the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. Oh, some of the dandy candy men were dressed up like a loon. Well, some had hats with a flap, and some with a crown. And there was one 'twas way, oh my, I'm sure the pay was worse. For every time he had to speak, it was a laughable farce. Oh, what would you do if you had the power yourself? I would hang the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. Well, some of them had nae hats nor had nae buttons on their coats, and one of them had a Bernese ribbon wrapped around his throat. One of them had a pair of breeks belonging to a boy. One was a sort of tweed, the other was corduroy. Oh, what would you do if you had the power yourself? I would hang the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. Well, next there comes a master's eye, I think they should be shamed, depriving wives and families of their comfortable homes. And when you move to where you bide, I hope you gone to hell, along with the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. Oh, what would you do if you had the power yourself? I would hang the 20 candy men, and Johnny will carry the bell. The Oakley Strike Evictions. This is one of the songs that used to be popular. It's a song about drink. Johnny, my lad, you nae thought on rising. The day is well spent and the night's coming on. Your fellers near done and the stuff come before ye. Rise up, my Johnny, and come away. Was that at the door? I hear speaking so kindly. Think it's the voice of mine wifey Jean, coming by my dearie, sitting beside me. The time enough yet to be gone away. Johnny, my lad, do you mind all the curtain? When nothing but trouble bothered our mind, we spent all the days mine the sweet scented roses, and their thought it lying then to gone away. I mind well in the time that you speak of. Will I remember that flowery glen? But these days are all past, they'll never return, love. Sitting beside me, ne'er think I'd gone here. Johnny, my lad, the bairnies are greeting. Nae meal in the barrel to fill their wee wine. While ye sit there think drinking, you leave me lamenting. I rise up, my Johnny, and come away. Said Johnny rose up, he banged the door open. Said, cursed be the tavern that let me in. I cursed be the whiskey that made me so frisky. Fare thee well, whiskey, for I'm away. Thank you. I'll just finish with this one, because a couple of people coming on next that I want to hear. It's a song, actually, I was asked to do it in Straven the other week, and I got the first two lines out, and then everybody joined in and drowned me out, which was great for the audience. And if you do the same tonight, it's a Tom Paxton song. I think it's quite well known. What's your hurry? Just watch this. This is one you mustn't miss. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. A drink for me, a drink for you. You're gonna need a drink or two. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. You never heard it sung before. I hear it twice a month or more, complete with tears and sheepish grins. It only lacks the violin. The tune goes flat from time to time. The lyrics sometimes fail to rhyme. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. Try it. La 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 la. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. It sometimes lasts the whole night long. Depends on how long she's been gone. I sit and look as hard as nails. She knows the damn thing never fails. I take the bottle, fill the cup, don't miss the part where I pulled up. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. La 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 la. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. It isn't Annie's only tune, the other I'll be hearing soon. Next week, tomorrow, or today, she sings it when she goes away. I take the bottle, fill the cup, don't miss a part where I fold up. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. Take it. La 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 la. And he's gonna sing a song called Take Me Back Again. Come on, Annie, sing your song, I'll take you back again. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John McCready. Would you welcome, please, Artie to Size and Scylla Fisher.
I hope you're all feeling nice and happy, because I'm going to remind you that tomorrow's Monday. Unfortunately for me, I never get up on a Monday morning, so I don't get up any mornings. But, this is a contemporary song written by a guy called Cyril Tawney. The song's just called Monday Morning, and it's just him moaning about having to get up for work. Too soon to be out of my bed, too soon to be back at this Busque caper, fumbling for change for my morning paper on a Monday morning. Wrong end of the week for a smile, wrong end of the day for being civil. There's many's a saint would be a devil on a Monday morning. And where is the weekend now? And where is the whiskey that I tasted? Gone the same way as the pay I wasted on a Monday morning. But if only the birds would booze, and if only the sun were a party giver, if somebody else could have my liver on a Monday morning. For my lover, he lies asleep, and my lover is warm, and his lips are tender. But I trade you the world just to share his pillow on a Monday morning. Too soon to be out of my bed, too soon to be back at this Busque caper, fumbling for change for my morning paper on a Monday morning.
We were hearing earlier how that a hypothesis that the Carter family had influenced things for a long time in many ways, and I think to be truthful that this is a Scots song that certainly this treatment was influenced by the Carter family. Does that make sense? No. Oh, bugger it, you know.
What are you going to sing? What are you singing? Oh.
song called The Furfur Sodger, which to me is one of the very first anti-war songs written by the same man as wrote the Work of the Weavers up in Forfar. It's called The Furfur Sodger, and it's got a chorusy bit that you could join in. It goes, hurrah, hurrah, we my twitty, Bolero Lido. Hurrah, hurrah, we my twitty, Lido. 1, 2, 3, 4.
In Forfar I was bred and born, and faith I do think shame, sir, to think of the weary life I led before I left my home, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. When I was 6 I gave to school because it was the fashion. I and ilka Sunday to the kirk to save me a thrashing. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. They learned me to read and write, likewise they're all 3, sir, till a nobler thought come into my head, and a soldier I would be, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. So I gaed into Forfar town, 'twas in the Forfar county. I enlisted there with Sergeant Brun for £40 a bounty. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. We spent the most of our time just marching up and down, sir, with a feather bonnet on my head and put up to the crown, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. But syne they got me changed my tune and they sent me out to Spain, sir, for 40 regiments in a row came marching o'er the plain, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. For 3 long days and next we fought a fight that never ends, sir, till a bullet come whistling through my leg, so I up and fired again, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. The bleed come pouring down my hose, the bleed come pouring down, sir, so I turned my gun among my foes and I sat down and sang, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. The doctor came and he dressed my wounds and he swore I would be lame, sir, but a grip of the horrid 2 oxter staffs and I've come here pulling him, sir. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. Oh, the sex that I have seen is scarcely hate to mention, for now I'm back in Forfarshire and I'm living off my pension. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido. Hurrah, hurrah, way my twitty Bolero Lido.
We're just finishing up now 6 weeks of Europe. And it turns out that our friend from France who helped us put this whole tour together is a wonderful musician, plays about 9 instruments, and he's a great singer. And just before we start up again, we're going to have ask him to play a tune for you, and maybe accompanied by 2 of the Red Clay Ramblers. Anyhow, I'd like to introduce to you now Patrick Couton from Nantes in France.
Put it around the side. Ah.
Have a word with him.
Well, we're going to play an Irish jig. It's called The Top of Cork Road.
Yeah, fine name. It's the only one we know together.
some cider first.
It's a tune called Patty, Won't You Drink Some Cider?
You taught them in French.
Right. Patrick taught me what the title means in French. It's Patty, tu prendras bien un coup de cidre. I think it's funny over here.
Do another tune for you while we have Patrick up here. This is a tune that comes from New England. It's a hornpipe, and no doubt it comes from over here originally. It's called the Staten Island hornpipe.
We're putting in 3 songs.
Here's a tune written by Bill Hicks, man on our right and your left. He's the fiddle player. It's a song called The Hobo's Last Letter. While walking one day down the Bowery, I was drinking without any care. I happened upon a common old bum who'd fallen down 3 flights of stairs. His coat was all ragged and tattered, the hair was white on his head. He gave me a letter with his dying breath, and these were the words that it said. I was standing on a streetcar back in Frisco, waiting for the light to change from red to green, when the thought came through my head about the time we went to bed underneath the western stars of Abilene. So a lot of things get hazy when you wander. The days go by like boxcars at night, but someday I know I'll find just a little peace of mind, and when I do, I'll find it and make it right. I'll be home in the morning when the sun is coming up, and roosters singing wake up to 1,000 buttercups. There'll be pigs in the pen and turkeys in the woods. I'll be home in the morning if Many years ago, that bus pulled out for Denver. We were standing in the station holding hands. Then we finally said goodbye, and I stood and watched you cry, and I asked myself how you could understand. You know, I've been a lot of places since that Sunday, and some things I've done just don't mean a thing. But one thing I know is true, when I get back home to you, this old bird can live forever off of me. I'll be home in the morning when the sun is coming up, and roosters sing wake up to 1,000 buttercups. There'll be pigs in the pen and turkeys in the woods. I'll be home in the morning dear. Just too personal to tell, and I gave it to the cop who was standing at the top of the stairs where that poor old woman fell. He hadn't had the time to put her name upon it, and his hand shook so bad his name was blurred, but it looked a lot like mine, so I'm calling you this time to say I'll be home in the morning, dear, for good. I'll be home in the morning when the sun is coming up, and the rooster sings wake up to 1,000 buttercups. There'll be pigs in the pen and turkeys in the woods. I'll be home in the morning, dear. Well, see ya. Here's a little ditty that gives you the complete history of the world in 5 easy-to-remember verses. In fact, I seem to be the only person who can't ever remember them, which is a tragic thing since I have to sing it. Anyway, this is a tune from down in Texas in the 30s when Texas swing flourished, as it does. Flower. It was in flower, yes. From a band called Bill Boyd and his Cowboy Ramblers, long since defunct. This also has a chorus upon which you may join in on, if you so want or desire to do so. Or not. It's up to you. But anyway, if you do, it's very easy. Scots or English, it's all the same. Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
They did it in Romania, and you can do it here. All right, slip over it, says. Okay. Kick out of my spot. All right, let's start again. One.
Give me a great big heart, give me a buckaroo, and let me wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. And give me red, big fair pants, give me a special too, and let me wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Give me them white, open baby. I'm just like a prairie flower, growing wild every hour now. Give me a turkey and I'll be jerky, and this up the dog too. Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. You know, I never sing my class things with music I never knew, but I can wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Oh, I never danced with a dance through the things, but I can wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. It's just a girl from the river. You shot a blues, man, chick. My just call a thing, I never speak a word of Greek, I never could scoop it up, but I can wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Old play back and say and anyway they make me holler wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. And what in the rolling Romeo fight? Juliet besides wahoo, wahoo. It started way back in Aden. Abe on the continent, no 51 and forest. Now what did old Pocahontas say to John Smith when they made me holler wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Don't let Hollywood queens scrape the screen prior to have it too. Come on, wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Wouldn't you? It's no fun to learn it on the horse, their contract to live on wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Oh, give me a wide open space. I won't be there, so frail. What right up till the dead, lay me to rest out in the west. But sing it, baby, and let me wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Stand up. What to do, he couldn't wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. And why did the Zulu warrior lose the battle of Timbuktu? He couldn't wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. The world has wahoo for ages. Not like wahoo, Congo, Myers, like Lenny Go. Now why did old G. Billy Bo sit around feeling blue? He couldn't wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
I know. Who knows? What makes you say that? Well, there's always a possibility. It's called Woman Down in Memphis.
Woman You told me that your love was true. You made me spend my money like a trusting man will do. Said that we would soon get married. Said you'd always do me right. You were trifling as soon as I was out of sight. Trifling the boots out.
We'd like to play a medley of Irish tunes for you now. To start off with a hornpipe called Harvest Home, this is kind of an American version of it. And then 3 jigs, starting with Lark in the Morning, then the Priest in His Boots, and finally the 3 Little Drummers.
Those 3 Little Drummers. Do it every time.
Makes sense, man. 1, 2.
place Wagner.
Well, it's time for a ballad now. This is one of our favorite murder ballads. Actually, no one gets murdered in this murder ballad.
There's a threat. There's a potential.
The person does get murdered immediately after the last verse. It's called The Old Maid and the Burger Man.
It's under the bed he lay. At 9 o'clock he saw a sight that made his hair turn gray. At 9 o'clock this old maid come in. Oh, I'm so tired, she said, and thinking everything was well. She forgot to look under the bed. Well, she pulled out her teeth and her big false eye and the hair right over her head. That burglar man, he had 21 fists and he came from under the bed. She didn't holler or scream at all. She stood there meek as a lamb. She said, oh Lord, my prayers are answered. At last they got me a man. I've waited 41 years or more. You're the only chance I'll get. I'll buckle on to you, old boy. I won't lose you, you bet. She drew, and to this burglar man said, young man, if you don't marry me, I'll blow off the top of your head. Well, he looked at her teeth and her big false eye, and he found no place to scoot. He looked at the old maid standing by and said, woman, for the Lord's sake, shoot.
Well, here's a song about the unsavory part of Dallas, Texas, down the foot of Elm Street. Elm is spelled E-L-M. You take your Kodak and put film in it above and go down to Elm Street, take pictures of what goes on down there, and get the Deep Elm Blues. See.
Better go down to the village, just have a little fun. Better have your $15 window, hold it down slow. Oh, sweet mama, there's got them deep down blues. Oh, sweet mama, there's got them deep down blues. To the put your money in your sock. Gals in the Panama, they put you on the rock floor. Oh, sweet mama, let it drop in deep down blue. Oh, sweet mama, let it drop in deep down blue. Put your money in your pants. Gals in the Panama, they won't give you a chance. Oh, sweet mama, let it drop and leave down blue. Oh, sweet mama, let it drop and leave down blue. Sing it, Mike. Rich days on over down what you know. Oh, sweet mama, let it drop and leave down blue. Oh, sweet mama, let it drop and leave down blue.
Okay. We'd like to do another medley. This starts out with a song that comes from a lady named Maggie Hammonds Parker. She's from a family named the Hammonds family that came to the States in the 1700s when they weren't states. Settled in Virginia for a while, and as the people kept coming in, they kept moving back into the frontier, first to Kentucky, and in the 1850s they moved into West Virginia where they stayed. West Virginia is nothing but mountains. People couldn't get in very easily. And they remember a lot of old songs that they brought with them, their ancestors brought with them from over here. And this is one of those songs the medley starts with. It's about what people used to do when they ran out of bacon. And it's called When Bacon Was Scarce. And after that comes some fiddle tunes. The first one's called Rice Straw. It comes from a fiddler from Indiana named John Summers. The second one is called Ships Are Sailing. And the third one's called High Yellow. One year, when bacon was scarce and us having none, we saddled our horses and shouldered our guns. Straightway to the wildwoods we did steer, to kill off the wild hogs and drive in the deer. Well, when we got there, we rambled a while. We looked at each other, but came for to smile, saying these ain't the same hogs we fit here before, the old blue sow and the blacklisted boar. The old blue sow sprang up to her feet for to run. We fired, she fell from Bob Porter's old gun. The cowhide will crack and the waters will roar. Your back will ache till it's perfectly sore.
Thank you. Here's another song that was recorded by Charlie Poole and his NC Ramblers, as they're known down in NC. This one was written by W.C. Handy, one of the great sort of blues band leaders back in the early part of this century. It's one of the first songs that was written with the word blues in the title. It's about one of the jumpingest streets ever, Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee. It's called Beale Street Blues. I see the light, long game on me. Old Market Street down by the Briscoe Bay. I caught a trailer, I gambled on the car, sing there a friend. Now the 7 wonders of the Fort Sea. There's many different places as I have been. Take my folks and leave the Beale Street one that says Memphis, Tennessee. If you speak the talk, if you speak the talk, there ain't never have to take their bed up and walk. Except for the two, they never think good, and climbing on the corner of the place of Memphis Blues. I'd rather be here than any place I know. You'll meet all the Browns in their beautiful gowns, and tailor-made and their hand-me-down. You'll meet honest men and pickpockets too. Any business never closes till somebody gets the cue. Oh, you'll meet all the Browns, shekels to pay. Talk about your whiskey and your black laundry. I've been on the bin and I got money to spend, and I'm going up to glory in that big Jerusalem. It's Beale Street to call, it's Beale Street to call. Mary never has to take their head up and walk. Except one or two, they're never big food, and climbing on the corner of the place on Memphis Blues. I'd rather be here than any place I know. I'd rather be here than any place I know. It's gonna take a sermon for the place to go. And we'll see that river, baby, by and by we'll see that river, Mississippi. I'll tell the reason why. All the rivers wet, the Beale Street done gone dry, gone dry. We're going to do one more. Pardon me. Few people still have some dough left after buying all that beer and whiskey and whatever. We still got records. And they're doing us less good than they will you. This is an instrumental called Flying Cloud Cotillion. We'd like to thank y'all for coming out tonight. We've had a great time. See you out on the links maybe someday.
Maybe they didn't come out. Maybe they just live in here.
again, Red Clay Ramblers. You can jump up in there. There. Thank you. Well. Might be introduced. Okay, I'd like you to meet all the people here. And all of you, I'd like you to meet a tune that Tommy wrote to commemorate the advent of a brand new species of animal named the beefalo, which is soon to become a true political force in our country and possibly yours too. It's a cross between a buffalo and a moo cow.
Not a Highland moo cow.
But the best thing about them, the best thing about them is they sing. And when they sing, it sounds like
they sing all the way to the slaughterhouse.
They do. And we're going to do just that, sing all the way to the slaughterhouse. Just like a bunch of unruly beefaloes that we
Seek